Welcome everyone to another day of Heart Snuggles. As always, please remember to leave a 5-star review if you're enjoying this episode. And today we have a really great guest. Will you please introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Danielle Angelloni. I am, yeah, yeah.
Tell us what you do.
I'm a music therapist and I also write songs. I'm a musician, singer-songwriter.
Amazing. How did you start with that? Get into all that.
Yeah, I started singing when I was 8 years old. Had my mom and my aunt, young aunt at the time, was really into performance, and I grew up listening to jam bands like the Grateful Dead and Dave Matthews Band. So I had a lot of music influences as a kid, and um, from there, I wanted to perform at a young age, and then I have another aunt who was a music therapist, and so I was really introduced to everything I'm doing now when I was young, really young.
That's awesome. It's so fun that you get to I think music is one of the best therapies for me personally. Like anytime I'm feeling something, like turn some of my songs on and it helps so much. So so cool that you get to be creative in your work.
Yeah, it's something that I'm realizing that like is totally a necessity for my life, being creative. Um, it's a lot of my how I process emotion and a lot of how I process just life events in general. So it's my therapy as well as my career and my passion as well. So it's really fun.
Yay, that's so good.
Yeah.
And how did you push through? Like, I know I don't really sing in front of other people because I have all those thoughts of like, oh no, what are they going to think of me? Is my voice good enough? All these things. Like, how did you push through all of that?
Hmm. So I think, there's like a huge debate on like the nature versus nurture part of being good at something. Um, and because it's something I've always done, I've always had a confidence around it. And I think from a young age, people around me told me that I was good. And then, like as I grew up, I started realizing that I have talent. And then it wasn't until really college that I was like, oh shit, like there's a lot of other people that do the same thing, and how am I gonna stand out, and how am I gonna push through like an enormous self-doubt, because part of being an artist in any facet, I think, is really dealing with a large a large amount of self-doubt, because there's a lot of competition and a lot of comparison. So I kind of drowned in that in college. It was extremely competitive environment. I went to a conservatory school, and um, it took me years. Not until after college did I really find my love and passion for the niche that I do, which is really writing jazz and pop music. And part of that was kind of also studying abroad and understanding how music is respected in different countries, and the lack, like how you don't need to be perfect. It's music is more of an expression, um and it should be something fun. So it's been a really interesting journey and relationship with music, but I'm at this point now, it's like a daily, weekly thing. It's like, oh, am I good? I don't even know if I'm good. There's so many people, especially with social media now. But what it comes down to is just using your own unique voice and y- expressing what you have to express in your own way that's different from anyone else. So that's a little bit of it, at least.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like in any like creative, you struggle with self doubt. It's definitely
Yeah.
a huge hump that we all have to overcome, and it never goes away. Like it, there's no way it'll ever completely go away.
Yeah, it's a daily battle.
Yeah.
It's I think it's there maybe for that reason, like to test us and like have us overcome it and create something.
Yeah, I agree. And what did you notice music in different cultures was like how they valued their music?
Oh, I studied abroad in Spain, and it was beautiful to see how many people came out to just a random performance at a jazz club, because jazz in the United States, even though it's a art form that came from African Americans in America, it is much more well respected in Europe and kind of a lot of other places like Japan. So it was really empowering to see that. And they give a lot more money to the arts there. I just the government in general, you can just feel that arts and culture is held on a higher, I don't know, is more well respected in Europe, especially Spain. And then I guess it depends on where you go, you know. Um, Almost all cultures around the world have their own type of music or dance, and it's something that I think is vital for survival. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so fun. And studying abroad is just so expansive in so many ways. But that's cool that you got to like for you specifically like dissect their music scene.
Yeah, just being able to do that was really helpful in deciding who I wanted to be as an artist and what music was to me, why it was important, and just falling back in love with it after I had been um, analyzing it for years in a conservatory. Yeah.
And what are some things that you're doing now with your business?
Yeah. So right now I'm number one focusing on performing again, which is really exciting. I I just started a band a few months ago, and so we've been practicing, and we had our first gig this past weekend at a San Diego food market, and it was so fun. And so practicing with them and just falling back in love with live music after, a year and a half of not doing that. And then on top of that, I have a service called Gift a Song where I write songs as gifts. And so I'm kind of redoing my website and amping up to launch that. And I work in the school system. So in the end of August, I'll be going back to school. Yeah. But
What
mainly working on performance stuff right now.
in your sing circles?
Yeah. So I recently started facilitating a program that my friend Mira started a few years ago. And it's an extremely healing experience. It was an extremely healing experience for me, and it is every time I do them. Um, so the singing circle is a place for like anyone to come together, regardless of your music background, even if you've never sang, you never played an instrument, and to really use your voice in a freeing way. So we sit together and we meditate and do some deep breathing, and then really just experience using our voice in a way that is not judged and is therapeutic. And by therapeutic, I mean like tons of different sounds. like I've, in the moment, I always try not to judge what's coming out of my mouth, but we always record and listen back, and it's just really beautiful because like as humans, when we make sound, we're vibrating our bodies, right? We're resonating and vibrating our bodies at a certain frequency, and we're literally biologically moving particles within our bodies, creating chemicals in our brain. Um, and it's amazing what we can do just by using our voices. So that's what we do. It's like an hour, yeah, an hour long workshop that we've been doing every month. I did it in June. Mira is doing it in July, and then I'm going to be doing something in August. And it's an hour long. We've done virtual and in person circle sings. It's really interesting because when we do it virtually, you can't tell who's singing really because you can't spatially know like who's to the left or to the right of you. Whereas when you're doing it in a group in person, you can and you know where everyone is. So both experiences are really unique because you don't really know who's singing and it's easier to hide over Zoom. But when you're in person, it's also very nice to be with other humans. So that, yeah, we have those two different ways of having the workshop, and it's really nice. You become very bonded with people, like bonding or singing with other people releases oxytocin, which is a huge bonding chemical that is vital for survival. And so you become very close to the people you sing with. Um, or make sound with. I don't even want to call it sing sometimes because that means that it has to be a certain way where it really isn't. It's just an open place to use your voice.
So cool. I really want to join one. And how do you help
Yeah.
people that have trouble? Like, is there anyone that shows up that's like, I'm really scared?
Um, yes. So, I mean, that's really like even people who are used to using their voice are scared when they come into this space because singing and using your voice without being told how is an experience in vulnerability. So it's it's extremely vulnerable. So it's like super valid that everyone is scared of doing it. I think that's really human. And so what we have done, and Mira has done this really beautifully, they'll start out with singing together, doing certain exercises that are predictable. Um, and then we kind of branch into breathing with sound on the exhale. And then from there, kind of doing that in different patterns and then letting people go out and use it in however they want to. Um, but if you are wanting to join and curious and you don't want to use your voice, that is totally fine. So just be a part of the group and even hum or just breathe and observe your reaction to it. That is that is perfectly fine. But we always, as a music therapy experience, we always invite you to kind of do some searching of why that was a block for you and why that is something that brings up anxiety and each individual person has a different story with their voice. Um, so that's totally normal. Even for me, like I get on there and some days I don't want to be the leader, and that's totally, as long as long as I'm not leading the group, that's totally fine. Um, because that's the experience of like when you sing with a group of people, you're supporting each other and kind of going off of what everyone else sings. So it's really a fun and supportive environment.
Such a beautiful bonding experience. And sounds like such a
Mm,
safe space for people too.
yeah, yeah. We welcome anyone and everyone who wants to try.
And what are some activities people can do at home to strengthen their voice or vocal cords? I don't know what the proper way to say that.
Yeah, that's so smart. That's a great thing because when you're at home, like if you already have a wellness practice or meditation practice, you probably do some of the things already. such as deep breathing or belly breathing or just noticing your breathing in general. Um, and that's the first thing, is just to notice what breathing does to your body and how it creates energy in your body. And then from there, I'd say you can try to create a sound on your exhale. So, for example, I'll breathe in and I'll breathe out. Mm. So I'm just making a little sound on my exhale as I breathe out. Um, and just feeling where that resonates in your body. For me, it resonates in my nose. And so making the sound from there. And then also you can make it fun. You can put on some of your favorite music and sing along with it. And who knows, if you're really feeling it, like putting on a karaoke track and singing your favorite song, because just like dancing moves up the body and alters our emotions, so does singing. Um, so I definitely recommend
Yeah, I found too, like, I was told when I was younger by my parents, they're like, you can't sing, you're not good at singing. And so then, classic story. And I'm like, obviously, I was very tone deaf and I'm starting to heal it. But I think just through, you're right, like just through singing and like actually using that, it just gets better. And I don't know how, my voice has definitely improved, but I've never done like technical exercises.
Yeah. Ugh, and that's so tough to like come from a place of being told you can't sing. Um, because as young kids, that's half of it. I always say like 80% of singing is confidence, right? Like, and it's not, because I really don't feel like that's a lie, because a lot of it is believing in believing in yourself to create a sound. Um, so that's a really difficult place to start from. Um, I forget, there was something else you said after that I was gonna
I said I've
go
never
off of.
done like technical exercises.
Yeah, yeah. So if you like, and that's not something that you really need to do for the singing circle, but I think a lot of people who do the singing circle haven't done that either. Um, and you could always like get in touch with me if you wanted to try out something on YouTube. There's a ton of different like exercises, but that's not something that's necessary for this. It's more of just a experience of using voice. Um, but yeah, remember, 80% of singing is confidence for sure.
What are some other ways to help that have helped you boost your confidence?
Hmm. I think like a lot of different things, it's practice. Um, just like, I don't want to say riding a bike because it's not exactly like riding a bike. Um, just like anything else, like a sport or like lifting weights or a yoga practice. Um, the more you do it and get familiar with the feelings in your body, the more you can connect with it. And yeah, I really invite anyone who is fearful of using their voice to view it, maybe like a yoga practice, right? It's there's no such thing as being good at yoga, right? There, it's a practice, and you get more familiar with the practice. Our society really, with all the shows like The Voice and um, American Idol and things like that, we're like so decisive between like, oh, this is good, this is bad, and we put things into categories. Um, but really, I truly believe that that's not how singing started. Like singing, I believe, and there's a lot of research to back this up, that we started singing as humans to communicate with each other and to warn each other, when we were like in the caveman eras. Like we like, it was vital to be able to use our voices. Um, and so that's like getting back to that. it just like I'm kind of going off on a tangent for sure.
No, this is making my heart. This is a heart snuggler for sure. Because it's so true. Like
Yeah,
society, I grew up watching that with my dad. Like, whose voice is better? Like that's on TV all the time. And you're so right. That's not the point. It's not like everyone's voice is beautiful in its own way, and that's society is not telling us that at all. And so it makes it
yeah,
intimidating, and it makes it fearful to share your voice, and not just like in singing, even just in honest communication. Like there's so many ways. So
exactly, exactly. Yeah, it's honest communication is a practice. Like speaking your truth is a practice. I just listened to your speaking your truth episode. It was so good. Um, you know, yeah, like anything, it's a practice, and like anything, with the practice comes the confidence in it.
mm, yay.
Yeah.
And I'd love for you to explain a little bit about your work and like how you help the children.
Yeah. So music therapy. Music therapy is the use of music elements to, in an evidence-based, research-based way, um, to support individuals in reaching their goals. And I work with children in special education. So what I do is I partner with occupational therapists, speech therapists, physical therapists, and I use our research that we have in music therapy to help the other therapists and the teachers support each student with their individualized needs. If you're in special education, or you are close to someone who is in special education, you probably know they have something called an individualized education plan. And so basically, I collaborate with the team and come up with goals for them. And it's really fun because I can use music to do that. So I partner with physical therapists to help certain children learn how to walk and improve their gait, or speech therapists and help with talking and talking in like certain rhythms, and um, it's so rewarding, my work, and I really love it. Yeah,
Seems like the coolest job. When you told me that's
thank
what you
you.
do, I was like, what? That's awesome.
Thank you. It's so lovely, to be able to be there, and not always. San Diego school district is one of the only school districts that allows for music therapy. Um, and it's not a universal thing, but I think we're getting in that direction because there is so much research in um, how it supports a lot of different types of people, special education, people in the medical setting, especially with stroke patients and different neurodiverse people, and then of course with older adults and dementia. There's a lot of really amazing research. So it's a growing field for sure, and yeah, I'm just happy to be a part of it.
And if a parent was listening to this and they wanted their child to start music therapy, how could they find someone for that?
Yeah, generally you'd go to musictherapy.org and you can look up different music therapists in your area. Might be .com, but I'm pretty sure it's .org. And that'll bring you to the American Music Therapy Association website. And then this is also something that's really big in certain different places in the world. Like I know Australia has a very good music therapy presence, and then other countries in Europe, and other places too. But if you were to Google music therapy in your area, then you would definitely come up with some different options. It's almost in the US, it's almost everywhere. I think almost every state has a music therapist, at least one. I think there's like North or South Dakota that has at least two, or something funny like that. In those really rural areas, it's a little harder to find people, but absolutely, like, musictherapy.org is the way to go. And then you want to look at what, aligning your values with your music therapist's values and making sure you're on the same page.
So important. I love that little add-in at the end. With any relationship,
Yeah.
all relationships, check your values. I think that is so important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and a final question is, what was the last random act of kindness someone did for you?
Oh, I love that question. Oh, the last random act of kindness. Oh, this is hard because like I try to think of, I feel like there was one that happened after this. But I in all my performances I put, tell me if this is random or not. I don't know if it is. I put my like Instagram handle on a sign in front of me so that people can, follow me if they wanted. And someone actually from that handle found my Venmo and Venmoed me $5 for my performance. So it was really sweet because I don't have like the Venmo thing out. I just have my like guitar case for like people if they want to tip, but it was really sweet. So that was, that means a lot to us musicians right now who haven't been performing for a year or two, who have in the past used that as supplemental income. So, I'm trying to get away from money being the kindness for sure, because that's something that I'm, battling internally. Um, but it was a kind thing. And then, we had some people give us some positive feedback about our band, which was really nice because it was our first performance. And so, and like any first performance or first anything, there's like a million things that you want to improve on. So I think those couple of things were just definitely put me at ease this week.
Beautiful. And
Yeah.
money is an energy exchange, and yeah, it's not everything, but like it's still like it just that's a one way for someone to show that they care, which is so nice. And I actually want to ask you one more question: is what's been bringing your heart joy lately?
Ah. Hmm. I think slowing down and spending time with my dog has been bringing me a lot of joy. She's so sweet, and like, it's really interesting how animals absorb our energy. Oh, fast-paced mode, and she just like kept pulling, and just she's never been a fast walker. She's like, "No, I'm gonna sniff. I'm gonna sniff over here." And that's just the way I am. And animals, children, they always teach us things. So it's been giving me a lot of joy to spend time with her and slow down and take her to the park and be in nature.
Yay, she's so cute.
Yeah,
And how can
for
people
sure.
find you?
Well, if you want to get in touch with me, that's awesome. Can't wait to talk to you. Um, I guess Instagram's a pretty easy way. It's Danielle Angelloni Music is my handle. And through that you can direct message me. I check them, even the ones that aren't my followers. So you can message me through there, or you can send me an email if you have like questions about my services. So that's the same thing, Danielle Angeloni Music at gmail.com. And yeah, seriously, I love connecting with people. So reach out if you have anything you want to talk about.
And I recommend the gift a song. It's the most thoughtful gift idea you can give to someone because you get to create like yeah, you work together to create the song, and it's such a beautiful gift. So plugging you
Oh,
on
thank
that
you.
for sure. Yeah.
Thank you. I have so much fun like really delving into the relationships and like and creating those songs. It's so fun.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Lexi. You're so wonderful. Thanks for everything.